you don't know what to do, you're worried. And so then, it's the same thing in the physical world and the spiritual world. Is the same kind of concept. It's this bombardment of thoughts and ideas that you feel that you can't control.
Right. So I started to like test it out. And I remember, like, like when you make a choice, you knock, the door shall open, ask, and you shall receive. You just have to be a willing component of energy to co-create with your, with your creator. So this one day, I go on the train, and I had to ride the L train. So you know how the L train is, and to 14th Street and shit like that. And I get onto a crowded, packed train as always. I get to stand by the door where I like to stand by the door. I have my headphones in and stuff like that. And the train getting packed and more packed. And then I start feeling like that overwhelm, right? And I'm like, let me start identifying the overwhelm. Let me identify the overwhelm. And as soon as like I say that and I think that, I look over and this woman's looking at me. And this overwhelming sense of sadness. I just feel so sad. I'm like, so sad. I'm just like, I'm not sad. I was like, I'm not sad. I was like, I'm okay. And I'm like, okay, so this woman's possibly sad. Or I'm crazy. I'm like, or I'm crazy. I'm like, okay, like, whatever. So I have my music, I lower it because my head's like, shit, I need quiet. As much quiet as I can get, but everybody in the world could think I have my music on. And I lower it and I'm quiet. And so like I'm like, what the fuck am I supposed to do with that? Spirit, wait, what the fuck? Like, okay. So she's that. Okay. So then I start getting my panicky because I'm like, but what you gonna do about it? How are you gonna prove this? Like, so I'm having this whole like stuff go on internally, and then it gets to like Laura Mercer to the side of the door that I'm on open, and I'm like, this bitch gonna be leaving so too. Like, what are you gonna do? Like, what's gonna happen and stuff like that. And like 2 other times we made eye contact on the thing, and I'm just like, she's sad. Like, she's so sad. So I'm like, oh my god. It's like, okay. And whatever. So then we both end up getting off at 14th Street, right? And at this point, even getting off, I didn't know what I was gonna do or say, or if I was even gonna say anything. And so then I get out because that door side is mine. I'm the first one out, whatever. And then I turn over and I do like a about face, and mind you, everybody's getting out, and so it's just like as fast as it can be, everybody's getting out. I turn around, I'm like, and she's there. Like, it's just like, turn around, she's there, and I'm like, everything's gonna be okay. This woman starts fucking crying, and she's like, thank you. And she walks away, and I've never seen her again until like, so that was like the first like other breakthrough for me to just like, girl, I'm like, just trust everything. Like, like, so I would do like these kind of things because I don't, like, I test everything. Like even when my sister used to say she used to see things as me, I did a lot of times fake stuff just to see if she was just agreeing with me. Because I want to know. I don't want you fake. I don't want you lie. I don't want you to follow me and just agree with me because I'm your bigger sister and you want to do the same kind of shit. And I remember I would test her. And she'd be like, no, I don't see it. I'm like, but it's right there. I don't see it. And I would learn her sincerity, and I would learn, and that might sound cool, but I did do that to my sister.
No, I mean, listen, I've done stuff like that. You want to see if people are sincere.
Because there would be a lot of stuff that I would see, and my sister and I, we would describe it the same and see it the same. And I'm like, wait a minute, but I am the bigger sister, and I could be influencing her. She could be seeing it just because I'm seeing it too. So I wanted to make sure that that was real, like, and then Aiden, when she had Aiden, me with Olivia solidified for me from the age of from when she could fucking talk. That everything that I have experienced is like a small town more. She sees even clearer than I do with certain kind of things too. Like, She sees full blown out apparitions and things like that. Like me, I'll see silhouettes, I'll see shadows, I'll see light, I'll see orbs, I'll see different kind of things. I hear, I'm clairaudient, right? Claircognizant, things like that. She's claircognizant and all these kind of things, but she sees like other kind of things like that I won't visibly see. I've seen some trippy things, and I'm like, I was sober. That's all I tell people sometimes when I see certain kind of, like, I was sober. This is some sober shit. This is not, I know it was sober. Like, you know, and then I've seen some other trippy shit not sober. Like, you get what I mean? Like, so for me, it's like, nah, it has nothing to do with the whatever you're taking and all this kind of stuff that you're taking and all this kind of stuff. So I don't want to hear none of that shit. It's been on all occasions. Like every occasion. So to test it out, like, you know, to see if, you know, whatever. And so I stand by what I'm made to see and know and whatever, and just continue to evolutionary grow. I don't get too caught up in the dynamics of what somebody's belief system is, because that's conditioning. Like, you're not going to condition into me your limitations when we are evolution, which is a revolution, and that goes, and that's continuous, that's infinite. We are infinite beings of structure evolving. So that's going to mean a lot of different things in different times, spans, dimensions, space, and time. So
Right.
that's just where I'm through all that. So, and it's nice if you can resonate with something. There is power in a lot of different things. I've worked with different energies of like, you know, like people that say like that Jesus energy, that Magdalene energy, that divine feminine masculine energy. I've been shocked by certain, because for me, one of my biggest questions with a lot of stuff was, how come people get names of stuff? Like, I'm like, people be talking, I was talking to a spirit and it was San Jose Pablo, and I'm like,
why do people run? Like, why do they get named? Is that what you asked?
Yeah, like, because I'm just sharing with you, like, because I'm
It's
like,
ownership. It's ownership. It's ownership.
right. So I started to understand it differently, though. It has nothing to do with ownership. That's human shit. It's stupid shit. So
Right.
like, it's like energy, right? So energy
But
frequency.
you gotta, like, we need labels. We
Right.
need to label.
We need identification tags to be able to communicate it and have it as a conversation that we can think. But most of the human populations forgets that part, and they tie everything so strongly to this particular thing. So I remember when I started to question this, but mind you, I see. You understand? Like, I'm questioning something that I see, and I get what, and I go to the energy. So when people would explain a certain name that they would give a certain something, right? I go to the experience that they will have to see if it correlates or relates to an experience or energy that I feel that I've had and stuff like that. So that's how it started. So, and I got introduced in one of those times to an energy that I had, up until that point, never even heard the fucking name or even recall the name. And I was just like, okay, there goes the name. I was like, what can I say? And I kept hearing it like a standard, like whatever. And then, anyways, it's like the whole experience is like a little bit trippy, and it turned out to be I can never say it, Sandoff, like whatever. It's one of the tallest, like, anyways. And the way that I was receiving the images of the description of this being, right, is everything that describes the being itself. It's Sandoff, something, I don't know, something like that. Like, it's an archangel or an angel or some kind. I'm like, but like, so it was just, for me, like, you know how people go to they have their initiated and all this kind of stuff. My initiations, I feel like, have all been with nothing. You have to understand. I also then, after the nothing, check my something and make sure I'm not making shit up. You understand? Like, and then it'll correlate and I'll match and I'll find. So a lot of my research and information that I find come from my own personal experience, and then I go and look for it, and then I find all these other things that correlate.
Something testifies to that, yeah.
Right. And so, like, and then I try to understand it from an evolutionary perspective and not try to box it into this one kind of thing, because there'll be a lot of people that'll explain a certain.
When you say evolutionary perspective, what do you mean by that?
Evolution.
Because what I'm thinking is how it fits into the whole, kind of. Is that kind of what you mean?
What I mean by evolution is the constant state of something continuing to evolve, to grow, to learn,
to keep going. Okay.
Right. So there's
so basically, you're checking to see how it fits into that growth. That's what you're saying, right?
and into also a person's experience. So like, so a lot of people will describe a certain kind of experience in different cultures and have a
And
different,
it's all the same. It's all,
right. So
all review.
right, so I'm understanding my identification tag of just an energy. I'm like, okay, so people have the Jesus energy, even if it's not in their culture. Like, you know, they're waiting for the Messiah or something. You know, like, you get what I mean? Like, it's just like, I'm not good with the terminologies and all this kind of stuff. Like, that's why I'll stick to the energy of something. So I remember when the energy of that Jesus energy was working with me personally. It's just what I'm saying, like, where it was like, I was getting the experience. Like, hands on because I was learning it from an evolutionary perspective. But I'm not gonna say, oh, that's Jesus, oh, that's this, oh, that. But when I'm gonna say, oh, if somebody says, oh, do you believe in Jesus? I believe in the energy of Jesus. You understand what I'm saying? Like instead of everybody wants to tie it to like a story or to a this or to a that.
Well, even in the Bible, right? There's a scripture that says that I no longer know Jesus after the flesh.
Right,
I only see him after the spirit.
right.
So when
That's
you think about that,
oh,
yeah, so
that's a nice line.
so Jesus is a man to a lot of people. But
Right,
when you hear what he was saying, he's saying the words. He's like, that's the Christ, the
right,
love, joy, peace, patience, all of that.
right.
So when you say Jesus energy, I understand what you're saying is what they call the Holy Spirit or the mind of God, whatever the hell they want to call it. Yeah, same.
They can give it a name. They
That
can.
that's something that I've learned. I'm like, because I went deep into the Christianity. Like
Me
I
too.
did the whole walking around and all of that, and then I started reading and reading and reading, and I was always in search of truth. And I always told myself, if what this guy's saying is not in line with what's written right here, then I'm gonna leave. And I've got thrown out of like dozens of churches, dozens. And what I've learned is that Catholics, uh, Protestants, Baptists, is all the same. Judaism is the same as Catholicism, which is the same as Christianity, which is the same as Buddhism, which is the same as
All
Islam.
derivatives of each other.
Right? You call it prayer and you call it meditation, but it's the same thing. So yeah, so
And I tried to develop. I was like, why? Like, God don't work for me. Like, I don't reference. Like, even like, I think the only reference of God that I ever make is I'm like, oh my God.
but it does work for you because God is consciousness. It's just that people don't understand.
So part of so just the neurological um, configurations of our own synapses and how our brain works and stuff like that in terms of the things that are in our subconscious layers and that create the patterns and behaviors that we have conditioned into ourselves. If God don't work for me, I should not say that. You have to understand that. Like, so for me, in understanding my concept of I believe in the concept of what they're speaking of. You understand? But for me, God doesn't work. And so this has been my rebellion, supposedly, right? Like, in terms of that. So I'm working the etymology of certain references to certain linguistics that I had to say because when I go in prayer, I want it to be real. So when I say
Right,
God, I already fuck up in my prayer.
right. That's
So,
why I like to say creator.
oh,
It, there's really no word to describe it. And how do you describe something that's invisible, untouchable? You can't hear it. Like it just reveals itself through knowledge. How do you describe it? What word do you use to describe it?
everything is,
Right, consciousness. No, yeah.
but what
The
does
super I call it the superconscious.
like usually when I'm referring to spirit, it is synonymous to all spirit. So like whether I'm referencing a specific spirit or God spirit or whatever, so I find myself in just very generic conversation. I'm like, spirit said,
Right, yeah.
spirit said, and spirit could be for you, whatever it wants to be for you. But I'm just spirit said, it's a consensus over here. It's like a community of spirit up in here. So we're gonna be spirit said, okay? So it's like because the alchemy is talking, so all spirit said. So I find that comes out natural.
That's another thing too. I wrote this whole study on that word spirit and how it's used in the Bible. And dude, spirit and mind are the same exact word as psyche and ruach.
Mm-hmm.
It's talking about
Brain. Do you see the brain, and do you see pictures and depictions? Oh.
that was my wife's dad.
Oh.
But yeah, spirit, mind, all of that stuff is the same stuff.
Yeah. I know. I'm trying. I won't get caught up in arguing like semantics with people about their freedom to believe whatever the fuck you want. Like I gave up that fight before too, or just like unless somebody tries to impose something, and still I won't even get silly with myself because it serves no purpose. Like, but
That's like the natural thing to do when you learn something new. You want to go tell everybody. You want everybody to agree with you, and you end up chopping off people's ears, really.
yeah. Well, I guess because of how rejected I have always like felt or been, because I've been doing this since I was young. By the time I'm older, lone wolf status, I'm not eager to share shit with nobody. I'm perfectly fine keeping all this information and info for myself. That's where I'm at. Like honestly, like I don't now people want to come. Oh, okay, I was talking about this 10 years ago. Everybody flew over everybody's motherfucking head. 15 years ago, it flew over everybody's head. Flew over everybody's head. So and now, okay. Well, now I don't want to talk. Now go watch my YouTube. That's what I tell people. Go watch my YouTube.
Go watch my video. Like, share, subscribe. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Go watch my video. So, yeah. I gotta do another video. I gotta start getting ready soon because I gotta shower and shit like that. Like, again.
Yeah, but we should do this again, though.
Crazy. Yeah. Definitely. Let's do it like where we introduce ourselves. Like, I just started recording just a little bit now, like just because I'm like we started talking about stuff that I didn't think we were gonna talk about before. We were just talking about our gossip and our business, and then we started talking real shit. And I'm like, wait a minute, let me hit record. And so I hit record too late. But yeah, so the next time it'll be just like a little slight introduction because I don't do edits and I don't know how to do all of that kind of stuff. So we'll literally have to do it like that, like intro, and then just away if or questions or whatever the case may be. But like this one's just be for us. I'll share it. I'll send it to you so that you could just have
Awesome.
like look at it or whatever the case may be and see how you look and how you want to do your angles or your background.
Yeah, I don't like how I look or how I sound. So.
So yeah, I definitely want to have makeup on and not be like all like freaking, and my lighting too. So let me see. I have lighting.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. We stay in the dark over here. Something like that. So yeah, but I do have to get ready because I do want to record another video because this Amber Heard is giving me mad material to talk about. So I gotta go.
They're gonna put out a statement or something, no?
Yeah, my prediction was right before the verdict. I did a video on that, and then so now that she keeps on doing these fucking interviews, whether it be Hollywood or not, it's pretty interesting.
She got to make that money back because she owes what, like 10 million or something.
She okay. In my card reading, she okay. So even in the verdict, before the verdict came out, in my card reading, what came up in her tarot was that I was like, I know that it's gonna go in his favor. I said, is he gonna answer that?
My bad.
But yeah, no. So before the verdict came, I pulled cards and I did a YouTube video for it. And in the card pulling, it had said that it was gonna go in his favor, but that there was gonna be a twist about the money, but that for the most part everything was gonna be done fairly. And that even in the reading that it came up for her, like 2 guys came up, and I'm just like, or 2 energies, like whatever, or just something like her security, like that she's secure. I was like, even though it may not go in her favor, she still got something. So then I did a reading yesterday, just solely on her, and I did it on my YouTube. And what's coming up is, I said, I know guys, you don't want to hear this, but she's okay. Don't be worrying about her money too much. Like I don't care what it seems like on the outside and stuff. She's very ambitious. She doesn't care. It's like, we gotta remember, all press is good press. And so there's money marketing opportunities for her that whether you agree with it or not, she definitely has one, and that she has something from a past investment that is working for her right now, or from a now investment, and like she has stuff. So like, even though like granted she may not have like whatever, so it appears like whatever, but like something's hidden from the public view that you don't see, and that she's okay.
Oh yeah, 100% believe that.
Don't feel too bad for that man. She okay. What she's not learning is a lesson. And that's gonna be like that's I watched the little interview thingy so far. I'm gonna watch the second part of it now. And I'm like, and that was another thing that came up in the reading from before. I was like, well, you know, hopefully I start talking positively. I'm like, you know, that she'll start learning her lessons. And when I'm doing that, cards are flipping over, and I'm like, oh, maybe she's not. I was like, I guess she's not, but I would hope that she would learn her lessons. But I don't look like this bitch is learning her lessons anytime soon right now. So, and then she did the interview, and I'm like, bitch is not learning her lessons.
No, they have to push that. They have to push that whole men can get abused and women are not abusers. They have to push that.
Now what she's pushing is that the media had influenced the jury,
Yeah, I mean,
making the decision, but that she doesn't blame the jury, because how could they choose differently? He was
right.
in her interview. This is her justification. How can they? How could they? When Johnny was able to convince the world that he had scissors as fingers. I'm like, bitch, what does his movie got anything to do with your trial right here, right now? Now you want to hate on his acting skills and now say that that's the reason why this fucking jury came up with the fucking decision that they came up with. No. No, but she's working on shit. She really is. She's working on shit. And even in the last video that I said maybe like a book too, even writing like a book, like whatever.
Of course, she's gonna write a book. She's gonna make a documentary. They're gonna do all kinds of stuff. Just like Hunter Biden, you know, he became an artist. So paintings for like $500,000.
I don't know. Yeah, she was painting, and in the trial, supposedly he ruined all her paintings.
Oh God, everybody's a victim. I'm tired of this. Everybody wants to be a victim.
Whatever, but anyways, and then the audio that they played, I'm like, bitch, I was abused. You don't talk to your abuser like that, okay? That's the last thing. You talk to your abuser like that at the end when you're ready to leave, or like you got some balls or you got some backup. Like that's how you when you get brave or whatever.
No, yeah, a lot of people said that's not. She doesn't sound like an abused woman because she sounds like an alpha.
You know, you do not sound like that at all. And her crocodile no tears is not helpful either. And then she had her acting. I don't know if you watched the trial, but she had her acting coach. Did you see when her acting coach testified and said that one of her flaws as an actress is that she can't cry on cue. So she has trouble. She can't cry unless it's real. That was what she said. She can't cry unless it's real. So all the tears on the stage, no tears that we all witnessed, was revealed by her acting coach, that she doesn't know how to fake cry, that the only time she could really cry is for real. Like that was part of, as her acting coach, this was an issue. This was something she didn't know how to cry on camera. She only could cry if it's for real. So she's on stage, no tears,
Yeah.
as it's been revealed by your acting coach, that is one of your flaws as an actress, that you cannot cry on fucking cue. And so your own trial, that you're sitting there saying, oh, this happened. Bitch, tears drop naturally, especially if you're coming from a PTSD trauma background. Even you try to be strong and still a tear will fucking drop. A tear will drop.
And that shows you that she doesn't even have empathy, because even
right?
if you're an empathetic person, you can bring that to yourself, you know, like
that happened to me.
Yeah, I can do that.
I'm so sad. So you think about and then the joke about it was that meme that they made of her, which was like and then my dog stepped on a bee. That was like I was like, that looked like more of a tear could have possibly came out. Like, but that's what
That's funny.
cry. Your dog stepped on a bee. Okay. But he punched you, beat you, and was gonna kill you. You were fearing your life, and your dog stepped on a bee. All right, thank
That's funny.
you. So she's pretty
Mm,
interesting though. But yeah, she younger than us.
yeah,
She
I
look
know. That makes me feel old.
she look older.
I know. But she's also Caucasian. Caucasians got bad skin.
Oh, got good skin. No, I don't think so.
Nah, it depends.
I don't think so. I think it's how you. It's just either
It's the
genetic.
makeup. I feel like if you wear a lot of makeup,
That has
you
nothing.
probably take some years off your. You don't think so? You're covering up your pores and all of that.
Genetics and also how you care for your skin. It's either genetic
True.
because you can not take care of your skin and just have great skin. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you drink
True.
lots of water, hydrate, all this kind of stuff. And then you could just genetically have prone to acne, prone to, spots or blotches or aging or wrinkles and all this kind of
That's
stuff.
true.
So I really, and then you have products that if you don't research your products and all this kind of stuff that can contribute to faster aging and all this kind of stuff and whatever. But again, the same people will use the products that have great genetics and to those that don't, and it is what it is at the end of the
It
day.
just depends. Yeah. I'm about to start drinking baby blood.
Oh my god, I watched a video of satanic cult ritual
Adrenochrome. Adrenochrome.
that they were eating the fetus, the aborted, terminated fetus, like for whatever.
I believe all that. I think people still do stuff like that. I don't think it goes beyond human imagination to do crazy stuff like that. And I only crazy just for the lack of a better word, but bro, that's that's people's custom to that.
Rituals.
Rituals, yeah. Get them closer to their God.
That's your phone again, but I tell you I have to start getting ready and shit like that. So I'm gonna
Yeah.
end here. We'll do this if you want. Tuesdays are good for me, and usually it can be a little bit earlier. It's just I was doing Olivia's dog walk run today, so
Do next Tuesday. Any Tuesday, yeah. We could do any Tuesday.
yeah. So Tuesday is good for me. It's just like I said, like today was different for me because I took over her little thing. So like whatever. I do teach in the mornings, but I'm done early. And I think this location too, if I'm not mistaken, like I was telling you about the summer scheduling, I'm gonna pause this now.